couldn't get off Halo, huh?
Friend of the show, Russell, was here, also playing the Halos.
Brother of the show.
Since we can't play campaign co-op, we have to play co-op old school style.
Pass the controller, baby.
Which is a favorite method of mine, but not preferred for Halo, maybe.
Yeah.
When the first one had it built into it with no issues. We're still on that third NDI source fucking everything up. I don't get it, man. And I know it's a new build of Skype and everything, like it's a new OS. So that's our when the OS rebuilds itself and it's a built-in app like Skype. That's a new version of that too, right? Or is it a carryover? Can it be a carryover from Windows 10?
Everything should be rebuilt.
That's what I thought too. So
it's how we fix software issues when at my job.
So I'm running.
Update those.
I'm on Windows 11 right now, and it's doing the same thing on Skype. Must be something with that NDI engine. I wonder if there's an NDI engine. I did that before, though. It was an update for it.
Have you tried just nuking OBS?
Yeah.
Uninstalling, reinstalling the whole...
Cesar and I did that, and we were successful for the 2 sources. And then we added the 3rd source. That's when it broke me, the local one.
It doesn't make any sense.
You had to find where we told you it was fixed, and then we recorded that episode, and it's like, nope, something's fucked.
I mean, we got proof on YouTube that it was fixed.
There's a good YouTube feed of just me and him, but when we add a 3rd NDI source, and it's not necessarily you, because I'm the one that's freaking out on this feed, and just like it was before, it's that 3rd source I'm determined. Because we had the same error on another... So that's how we switched from OBS. It was something else, and it was still the same NDI error.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find Restream. Oh, I do like me some Windows 11. Even though Windows 10 was the last promised one we'd ever need.
Yeah, right. You knew that was going to be true.
Exactly.
It's the last one you need until we need more money.
It says we got 1 viewer. I don't have mine up yet.
I'm working and I don't have mine either, so somebody must be real.
Brant.
It's a real person.
Never assume it's a real person. Serious suggestions is like, hey, you want to listen to Twitch tonight? Sure. Alright, I got us up. Do I sound like a robot?
Exactly.
Serious suggestions is like, hey, you want to listen to Twitch tonight? Sure. Awesome. Thank you, Skype, for fucking us after we had everything figured out. For months.
We just bite the
Renee's
bullet
watching
and
JoJo.
Download Discord.
Proud of, yeah, I got Renee hooked on JoJo, so.
JoJo Siwa? That's what I asked him. Yes, you do. So
JoJo's good shit,
all
man.
I got is yes, you do.
Even started with part 1 and 2 and didn't listen to the bastards that say skip part 1 and 2, go straight to 3. And I was like, why?
Renee's on episode 6, he says.
What season? I caught 36. He's on episode 36. He's actually, I think he might pass me, or he might be right where I'm at.
Oh yeah, episode 36. Why is my restream feed so delayed? Because it has to go through so many things. MCU Roundup.
Gotta walk like an Egyptian.
Renee says season 2. Dose. Send Renee dose. Alright, we ready, people?
Yeah, why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 187 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food and Drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast tonight. Fired PlayStation executive? Question mark. It's an ominous start. Maybe we can get the bullshit out of the way first. Bungie 30th anniversary. What are they going to do for that? They've had a lot of franchises over their 30th anniversary. Surely there will be some Marathon and Halo mentions, but can they actually officially mention them? I didn't know the Matrix was asleep, question mark. Nintendo Online adds another 64 game. Wow. Let's check this out and see what that is. Yeah, rumor, Sony planning new online service. What could that be? PlayStation Plus Plus. Tomorrow Children Revival. I threw that one in, Brant. That's important. And we have your November PlayStation Now games. And we have your update to PlayStation Plus. I am one of your hosts, Richard Bergman. I'm currently on installation 04. Joining me from installation, what was the next one? It's not 05. Maybe it is 05. Joining me from installation 05 is Newsmaster Brant McKee. And last but not least, and most recently, the Zeta Halo. Joining us from there, that far out location is Cesar Concepcion II.
Hello. Hey, Brent. Brent, how's that physical copy of Xbox game?
Oh no, Brent, why?
Well, I tell you not to buy physical copies of Xbox games.
Oh
Cesar,
my lord!
Cesar, to be fair,
that's
Cesar,
some bullshit.
Fair, this is the worst offender. He is, of course, referencing the fact that Halo Infinite contains 7 gigs of something on the disc. We don't know what. It's not multiplayer. It's not campaign. It is partial something. And if you buy that disc, you still have to upload, or you still have to download the rest of the campaign to do anything with it. It has nothing on there. So famously on this podcast, we will host Halo LAN parties. So I have discs from 2001 that I can pop into these Xboxes that work. And I have discs from 2004 that I can pop in. And I have another disc from 2005-ish that has a bunch of map packs on it that will update that 2004 copy, and then those same 2004 copy discs will work just fine. Famously, this 2021 disc, not sure what it has on it, Brant. Would you like to, have you ripped that to Cesar scratches his head?
Explain how you paid $59 for a steelbook.
Oh, I want that steelbook so bad that I can't buy that disc. It's useless. I can't even use it for LAN parties.
At least Halo 4, you got 2 discs.
Out of the loop on that.
Send it back, Brant. Send it back. It's time.
Yeah.
Cesar notes it on Halo 4. One was an install disc. The other was the rest of everything, right?
I believe so.
Yep. Brant, famous. How did this turn into this? Brant you have the only physical copy of Halo Infinite on this podcast. Would you like to show us the case and everything? Please show us the. I want to see the steelbook.
Yeah.
Get your moment in the sun.
I knew better. I knew better. I warned Brand about buying Xbox games.
Get your moment in the sun.
Here we go. Before I fly too close to it, my wings melt and then I plummet to the ground.
Go ahead, Brankarus.
So this is the steel book with this little slip cover.
I'm a big fan. Oh, that looks really good.
You take off that slip cover.
So he took off the
reveal
cardboard
Halo
cover
Infinite.
of it, and now we're seeing like the metallic, the actual steel book. So when he took off the cardboard bit, he took off Master Chief. It was like an overlay. So now, Master Chief is on the back. Okay, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, we have a Banshee, like a Banshee patrol over the Halo.
No, that's a pelican kind of flying toward.
It's a pelican on there.
Look.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pilot has the pelican. The pilot flies the pelican multiple locations. More to come later in this podcast regarding the campaign.
Not a brief pelican, right?
And as a metaphor for what's on the disc, the case is empty.
There's nothing there. It's an empty slot. I want to know, because I don't think anybody actually knows. It's like 7.5 gigs on that disc. Like, nobody knows yet what exactly is that disc. Because if you had if you had a Series X and you had the multiplayer beta, which we've all been playing, if you had that installed and you popped in or you started the infinite download on Game Pass, you immediately were like at 15% or something. It jumped you ahead. So there was already a 4 gig today as of launch day. Go ahead, Brent.
I'm just going to say it was like an additional 25, 26 Sounds gigs or something like that.
So you had a 4 gig title update, and then you had that. It's almost like they're treating it like DLC, right? That's what we're used to seeing in the past. Yeah, when you add that to it. It's almost like, hey, everybody's been playing Halo Infinite Beta multiplayer. Here's DLC for that. You can play the story mode. What a wild world, right? But that's kind of how it launches, and you have to download that. And I just don't understand why there even is a disc. So let's go through that bit now. Why is there even a disc? Is that something to wrap into the tree, or is that something to get people to get the Steelbook?
I have no clue.
If you were to take that disc copy and put it in an offline Xbox, it would be worthless. You could not do anything with that disc.
No. And I think that's ridiculous. Several years from now, I mean, obviously, Microsoft's this generation is all about their lineage, pretty much. So they've been good about bringing everything.
They're leaning into that, and they're licensing all their original lineage stuff for new release.
Yep.
New releases and kind of homage of that era, right?
But what happens if, for whatever reason, it gets delisted, or just they shut the servers down, or for whatever, and then nobody can ever go back and play Halo Infinite. And even if you've got a disc, you've got a coaster, basically.
It's not what the disc was before. And again, going back to what I lead this into is, we do a LAN party occasionally, and those discs still work from 20 years ago. You pop them in, and it's the full playable campaign, it's full multiplayer, and I realized that those experiences are not what they were. Now we're doing cosmetic advances, and they're always updating, they're fixing things quickly, they're not, they're nerfing things that are overpowered, so it's not the same, it's not apples and apples, right? But still, it's just, from a preservation point, I don't know what that disc is. Brent, maybe one day you do have the definitive version of whatever is on there. It's something, but it doesn't get you anywhere if you have an offline system.
It'd be really nice if after it downloads everything, it just writes.
There we go. Rewritable Blu-ray. Are those Blu-ray ROMs, or are they Ultra HD Blu-ray ROMs? What's on there? Because it's it's Xbox One and One X, right?
It's in the damn.
Or not One X. Yeah. Series X.
I think they're just Blu-rays.
Yeah, I think they're Blu-rays.
Yeah,
if it's Series X only, then they're Ultra Blu-rays.
So they have the exclusive Series X titles are Ultra Blu-ray ROMs. Those discs.
Should be similar to what they do on PlayStation. The PS5 discs are Ultra Blu-rays, and the PS4 standard Blu-rays.
So what game?
But since they have if they have smart delivery, they're going to be standard Blu-ray. They're not going to have the full game on.
That makes sense.
It's smart delivery.
What is the exclusive Ultra HD Blu-ray disc for Xbox One? Is there one yet? Was the medium one? The medium?
I was about to say the medium would be the only thing.
Yes.
It did? Okay.
Yeah, came out on PS5 and Series X, I think, this year, September.
Oh, it's getting physical for both this September. It hasn't been physical yet.
It's already passed September,
It came
past
out.
September.
Okay, it already came out.
Yeah.
And that was Ultra HD Blu-ray for both.
Yeah, we can check.
I'm curious,
I know that's why they're separate. That's why there's separate versions for PS4 and PS5 is because the PS5 discs are Ultra Blu-rays.
I guess that's the old head in us, right? We think PlayStation 1 is CD-ROM, PS2 is DVD, PS3 is Blu-ray, PS4 was also Blu-ray. Like, what is that cap to as far as that medium goes? I'm curious how that breaks down. Because I did not get a physical copy of Halo Infinite.
Nor did I. I was not paying $60 for CD key.
I do want that Steelbook, though. But the CD key philosophy.
I already knew
Brad, I promise we're not trying to make you feel bad.
I'll sell you the steelbook, and I'll even throw in a free coaster, Halo Infinite coaster.
I want the disc too.
That's
Oh,
what
they're
I'm
one and
referring
the
to.
same.
Or you
I'm
can use
outta
it as
here.
frisbee
The
for
coaster was more
with your
usable to
dog,
me,
or
not the disc. Frisbee. Oh, Cesar's live researching Ultra HD physical game releases for us.
Yeah, I can't tell which ones are which on Xbox because I know they're actually labeled properly on the PS5 box. They'll say all three.
Yeah.
So I can't confirm or not because it doesn't say it. It doesn't have a label on the on the
I
Xbox.
got a Master Chief something. What did we get?
you got a Master Chief something.
The 6-inch figure. The 12-inch figure. Is it the 6-inch one? The Jazzwares.
Yeah.
Did it come with DLC? Did you get a code in there? It did, didn't it? You get a weapon skin. You get a Master Chief weapon skin.
Yeah. Buzz Lightyear skin.
I did think about Buzz Lightyear. That would be.
Oh,
give
me that Buzz Lightyear skin. We already had an episode called John Wick skin. I don't know if we can do Buzz Lightyear.
John Wick skin.
Hey, that's the era of gaming we're in. There's multiple skins. You never know.
I'm still mad that we didn't get our Jack Ryan skins. I'm still mad about that.
Skins?
The Jack Ryan skins.
Jack Ryan skin. That's what it was. Jack Ryan skins.
Yeah. Jack Ryan skin.
The Ben Affleck with Some of All Fears is the one I was looking for.
The Jack Ryan verse. That's another fire verse. Oh God. I'm sure we'll be talking more Halo Infinite later this episode. First off, God, this is an ugly picture of this dude. Probably for good reason. This comes from VideoGamesChronicle.com. PSN Senior Vice President was filmed in an amateur pedophilia sting. There's no way to sugarcoat that. Sony has confirmed that a senior PlayStation executive has been fired after he was accused by an amateur pedophilia sting group. George Caciopolo. Caciopolo?
I don't know. We're not going to fret over
George
this
pronunciation
of his name.
Who was a senior vice president of the PlayStation Network since 2013, was allegedly caught trying to arrange sex with a decoy posing as a 15-year-old boy, according to a video by People vs. Peds, an important channel, apparently. According to the video, Casiopo spoke with a person who said they were 15 years old on Grindr, the social networking app for gay, bi, and trans people. The exec is then alleged to have arranged pictures and provided the decoy with his address in order to have sex. This exec has been approached. The exec is seen being approached outside his home in the footage wearing a PlayStation 5 shirt before closing the door on the person behind the camera, accusing him of approaching who he believed was a 15-year-old. In a statement provided to CNET, which is a Ziff Davis property, or did they get sold with Red Ventures? It's Red Ventures now. In a statement provided to CNET, Sony confirmed that Cacioppo, there's been like 8 different pronunciations of this dude's name. Cacioppo, look him up, don't hire him, has been fired.
Sounds like a bastard version of Mississippi.
Yeah, right.
You spell it out.
Crooked letter O. We are aware of the situation, and the employee in question has been terminated from employment, Sony said in a statement on Sunday. It's not yet clear if law enforcement has been alerted, and CNET states that San Diego police did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the matter. So he's been fired. He is no longer a part of PlayStation because he tried to arrange sexual relations with a 15-year-old individual, which is illegal across all boards of legality here. We do not condone this. It's not a good story. Let's keep going. Bungie has celebrated its 30th anniversary in Destiny 2 with off-brand Halo gear. This comes from The Verge. Destiny 2 is getting a ton of new content today. A lot is happening in the world of Destiny 2 today, says Tom Warren, who is a very busy man. Bungie is celebrating its 30th anniversary inside Destiny 2 with big content drop that includes Halo-like guns, a trailer for Halo 2. A trailer for Destiny 2's new Bungie 30th anniversary pack shows off a Magnum-like sidearm in Destiny 2 alongside a battle rifle like Pulse Rifle in the looter shooter. Both guns appear to look and feel like the original Halo weapons, but there's no mention of an official crossover with Microsoft anywhere. There's also, I noticed, an animation where your person can emote, and it looks like Master Chief has dived off the map. He's just,
Died.
Just like swimming infinitely.
See what you did there. Yeah, you're just great in silence.
So look forward to these weapons not honoring Halo, but honoring Bungie in their looter schluter Destiny 2. Combined with some great looking armor, cosmetics, and ornaments, it feels like Destiny 2 is getting a big injection of content midway through a season that leads to the next big expansion, The Witch Queen. The game's biggest expansion in years, Destiny 2 The Witch Queen will launch on February 22nd. It will see players finally face Savathun and continue the story of the sci-fi space series, end quote, which I care nothing about. Start quote, the Witch Queen expansion will also feature a new location, Savathun's Throne World, alongside important changes to existing subclasses, campaign content, weapons, armor, and a new raid. The 30th anniversary.
It was like a Universal Studios ride.
That's what it sounds like. Oh, it sounds like an underpaid employee too. It's just like rattling off the bits of the ride. Like
you're up there with a piece of paper like, "Welcome to the Savo 2 ride. Keep all hands and arms and
your
legs inside."
Please pull down the thing. The strap will keep you in. Please buckle in. Look to your left. That's where the exits are. If you need your belongings and they fall out, they are ours. If not, put them in the little cubby hole to your right. That sort of thing, right?
Have a great time.
Enjoy. The 30th anniversary pack should hopefully hold players over until February in what's an unusually long season for Destiny 2. What's going to happen in February? Are they going to announce Destiny 3 or Destiny 2.5?
2.1.
Has anybody cared about Destiny in a while?
Outside of a couple people in my job who just play it for the
social,
the Halo feels gameplay. That's it.
I mean, the gunplay is great, and we played the first campaign mission as a game club game a year ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, Brant wasn't here, so it had to be like 1.5 to 2 years ago.
I think from what I've talked to from most of my colleagues at work is typically they get through everything that's done with any expansion. That's just back to the same old grind.
It's what now?
They usually get through the expansion over the weekend, and after that, it's back to the same old grind.
That's it? It's that fast?
Yeah. That's what's been told to me. I haven't played it, so I can't say certain stuff.
Interesting.
Like, usually one big raid and, extra stuff in between. It usually doesn't last that long. So.
You would think it would take longer, right? Like, be more subsets than that?
I can't speak from experience. So I'll just go based off secondhand.
All right, someone tell us.
There's somebody's yelling at me somewhere. Like, he's wrong. Fuck that guy.
Destiny's amazing. He's wrong.
Yeah. How dare he? He's already in the message boards cursing my name. What's his name? Get that back.
Bungie's the best.
Yeah, how dare he?
If you're on the message board and subscribe to our Patreon, which we don't have, which we need to set up. We'll talk about that later.
That's cool. Hate me openly. Curse my name on Twitter. Go for it. I'll mute the thread, unfollow, and then block.
Don't do it on the page here.
Yeah.
Someone tell us about this Matrix Awakens interactive demo.
Gladly. So I obviously in some kind of a push to also promote Matrix Resurrections, which will be out in theaters later this month.
I just went down.
Richard dropped
hear me there, right?
something.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting a lot of no signal.
Let's wait for the video. The video will come back. Just wait.
You're good.
Video killed the radio star. We got
I am the radio star. I'm the arbiter.
But Epic Games has created the Matrix Awakens, which is supposed to be a interactive tech demo built in Unreal Engine 5, which you can preload on your PS5 or Xbox Series consoles. It's about 29 gigs. That's what it looks like. And will launch during the Game Awards on December 9th. So probably by the time you're listening to this, it's already out there.
Maybe you've beaten it by then. I don't know. We're trying to look into
Is it already out? I thought it was just a preview.
No, it's just a preload.
Oh.
It doesn't happen until, I guess it's going to be an announcement of the Game Awards. Whatever I'm saying.
Yeah. As of this podcast, it will release
I want to check it out.
I guess. Oh yeah, I definitely want to check it out. I mean, they haven't really said if it's. It just says it's going to be an experience. I think they kind of. I guess they wanted to reach, everybody and have it on both consoles, but I think it would have been pretty interesting to have it be a like a VR kind of deal.
Hopefully, hopefully, it'll be a good experience. The last good experience I had was a Jimi Hendrix experience. So.
Are you experienced, sir?
Well, I have.
So they say, they put the teaser video up featuring a digital version of Keanu Reeves asking, how do you know it's real?
And then it goes into Cyberpunk 2077. Go. Do the twists and turns. Let's go.
Unreal Engine.
It looked really good. I mean, I think they're really going to use this one to try and boost sales for the next Matrix movie, but also as much as show what Unreal 5 can do. Because we've seen that one tech demo when they were showing off PS5. But other than that, we really haven't seen much else from Unreal.
Just that Tomb Raider-esque demo, right? Where the person's trying to weave through the rocks and you got all the sand physics and everything.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah, they the Xbox Store listing says that it's a wild ride into the reality-bending universe of The Matrix that features performances by Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. So it's...
I've heard of these people.
We'll have to wait and see. Of course, like I said, by the time that everybody's hearing this, you'll be able to go and actually download it. So by next week, we'll probably all have our own little takes on it to talk about.
Can't wait to try it out.
Giving me a lot of credit. I don't know if I'll... Pretty lazy, man. I just did the next episode on the anime.
Pretty lazy.
I have to press. You tell me I have to press buttons? Nah, I'm not doing that.
Nah. Come on, this is an experience. You really don't have to do much. You'll just experience it.
Sit back and not hit anything. All right, we'll check that out later this week. My video is still not working, and I have tried multiple things, and it is what it is. So we will have to keep recording and roll out from there.
I'll get the next story beat. I think this one is Nintendo Online adds another 64 game. One whole 64 game. Brent, you ready?
That's
ready
it.
To
next
drop
story.
That money, get that upgrade with that paper of the Marios.
So tell me what all we're getting. Is it we're getting Majora's Mask and GoldenEye and Paper Mario.
Or was it the giant one, Denshin something? Ocean? Yeah. Denshin is
just Paper Mario.
Just Paper Mario. That's it. All we're doing. We're just not even in a Genesis game or nothing. This is from NintendoLife.com from Liam Doolin. They list that December 10th. By the time you're listening to this podcast, you have already put 20 hours into that paper of the Marios. If you already have that Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, Nintendo came out with a PR and said that basically Paper Mario's come out December 10th. They go into details and say along with the video, in Paper Mario, his vile viciousness, Bowser himself has responded with the magical star rod and lifted Peach's castle in the sky with the help of Kammy Koopa. Who will stop him now? It's up to Mario and you to Save all 7 of the Star Spirits guarded by Bowser's hand-picked minions. Can you rise to the occasion and pull off a storybook ending? Yeah, if you don't have the plus experience, you can't. Outside of that, they bring it home at the end of this article. Says, of course, to access this game, you'll need to subscribe to Nintendo Switch's online expansion pack tier. This premium service will also give you access to Sega Genesis / Mega Drive if you're in the European or Japanese nations. Games as well as Animal Crossing's Happy Home Paradise DLC. The next game edition N64 library bumps the total amount of offerings up to 10 here in the West. Whoop-de-doo. Well done, Richard. Welcome back. Yep. Me personally, I played Paper Mario. I enjoyed it. It's probably my second favorite one outside of Thousand Year Door. It's a good one. I don't know if it's good enough to
warrant the purchase.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Pretty damn expensive.
You can pay $10 on
but a repro.
You can pay $10 on a Wii U and still get it. So
or $20
Devil's advocate
on AliExpress on 64 and get a physical copy that is not legitimate but still playable.
Yeah, get a repro. Yeah,
I recommend to you guys to just go ahead and pay who doesn't have a Switch or whatever the service, just pay the $200 for Wii U and just buy for $10. And you would getting the online experience. Yeah, and then pay additional $10 to get the game. But you'll have so many other games you can play on there, on the Virtual Console experience. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Including.
Because that's how much better the Wii U is on Virtual Console games than it is on the Nintendo Switch.
In that regard,
so,
the Wii U is
I said it there. You can be mad, you can be angry, but that's how it is.
The Wii U is the last Nintendo system with Virtual Console. Can't debate that.
And how about that slow drip? You add 164 game.
Who was around for those days? It was not fun. And here, Cesar and I were setting up our Wii's on launch night, downloading Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda and Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, this is amazing! It's the best system ever.
Yeah. Our conversations about, well, we can finally beat Sonic the Hedgehog.
Still never.
I still beat Sonic the Hedgehog to this day. Yeah, the original. I get to the whatever the columns based level and I can't get past that. I had this conversation so many times. But it's whatever that weird Greek area that looks like columns and.
Beat the Marble Zone. Yeah,
is that Marble Zone? Is that what it's called? Is it called fucking Marble Zone? Yeah. I can never get past Marble Zone. At that point, I'm like, I'm popping in Sonic Mania or like lesser forms of Sonic, like the Werewolf Sonic one. Yeah. Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Racing. I'd rather play Sonic Racing. Sonic on Sega. Sonic on Game Gear. That was the original way to beat the original game. That was it. When we went through and raced through those kart races, that retold that story of the original Sonic game.
Marble Zone.
Yep. It was all there. Yep, absolutely.
Brent, have you ever beat the original Sonic the Hedgehog game? All right, so we all streamed this and we beat Sonic the Hedgehog. We all have to get.
I haven't met a person who's beaten it.
In this room, we will stream Sonic the Hedgehog. We will beat that shit.
I have not met a person alive that has beaten that game. No.
And then we have to get Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and do the giant stack.
Now I beat Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I just didn't beat it with Super Sonic.
With all the little cartridge add-ons?
Oh hell no! I didn't do that.
You got to do all the little cartridge. You got to stack the thing.
I didn't do Sonic and Knuckles.
Just beat Sonic the Hedgehog 1. It's impossible. It's so hard. No save states. We were playing on
unbeatable.
Hardware.
Unbeatable.
We could beat it with save states on Switch, right? Does that count?
Yeah.
If we beat it on that? I think we're good.
It's a big game. I don't think the game checks us and is like, no, you save state. Bad.
Use the save states, not the true ending. Yeah, I'm okay with doing that. Oh god, all the troubleshooting my news went to sleep. Next up, Bloomberg reports that Sony Interactive Entertainment is planning a new subscription service to rival Xbox Game Pass. This is codenamed Spartacus and is expected to launch in spring 2022. Well after Cesar's February 2022 launch of everything. Sony Interactive Entertainment will introduce a new service codenamed Spartacus that will enable access to a catalog of modern and classic games for a monthly fee, according to a Bloomberg report, citing people familiar with Sony's plans and development and documents reviewed by Bloomberg. This comes from Romano Egamatsu. Sony Interactive Entertainment will introduce a new service codenamed Spartacus. The service, which will likely be available on both PS4 and PS5, is expected to launch in spring 2022 and will reportedly merge the existing PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now subscription plans. According to documents reviewed by Bloomberg, Sony Interactive Entertainment plans to keep the PlayStation Plus name but phase out PlayStation Now. There are 3 tiers of Spartacus, according to the documentation. Tier 1 includes existing PlayStation Plus benefits. Tier 2 includes a large catalog of PlayStation 4 and, eventually, PlayStation 5 titles. And the third tier includes extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PSP games.
Why is Tier 3, the highest, what you got to pay extra for when nobody wants to play those old games?
Ryan. And definitely the Vita games. I hope you're not trying to play Vita games, Frank, because they're not in there either. People familiar with Sony Interactive Entertainment's plans also told Bloomberg the company is expanding its efforts into cloud gaming. A representative for Sony Interactive Entertainment did not immediately respond to Bloomberg's request for comment. This is we have been waiting for the Game Pass of sorts answer from Sony, right? This seems to be the strongest recommendation of that. They have since, in those years since, they have developed a quality PSP emulator, it seems, with examples like Parappa and Patapon. Yes, of course. All titles started with
Local Roco.
Prince of Persia, Rival Swords. Don't quote that.
What's the other PSP games? Sonic Rival.
We talked about that
Sonic
last
Racing.
week.
What's some other PSP games that we don't care about? Let's get on there.
Resistance Retribution. We care about that one. Oh, ouch. We care about that one.
Not put something on there we can't play ever again, like Mega Man Powered Up or something like that.
Mega Man. What was the other one?
Yeah.
Maverick Hunter X. The Mega Man X remake of that one.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I can play Metal Gear Acid. That's the only one I can play is on the PSP. It's locked for that. So. Yep.
Let's just say PS Now has pretty much been their version of Game Pass. They just haven't marketed it at all. It's been pretty well forgotten for quite a long time. Because they don't really talk about it a lot. They'll put out that presser, here's your games that are going to come to PS Now, but most people, you talk to them and you go, yeah, you could download PS1 or PS2 games to your PS4 or PS5 through PS Now and all this, and even stream PS3 games. And most people, what? I didn't know that. I never knew that about that service.
The example there too is you do not get the day one first party games like you do with Game Pass. So
yeah, Game Pass is definitely marketed better, and they definitely bring in those release titles immediately day one is big. Is a big thing for them.
You've gotten Forza Horizon 5, and you've gotten Halo Infinite. As of today, the campaign, and there's no, in my opinion, there's no equal to that on PlayStation Now. You don't have that day one, hey, your best PlayStation games that you really want, and you're coming here for Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us. Those are not going to be on this service as of now. They just aren't. They may be added later, and we'll talk about some PlayStation Now titles that are being added in the Grand Theft Auto verse. But they aren't there day one in that level, and I think there are some of us, including 3 of us on this podcast, who would subscribe to such a service. I would definitely be down for something like that. So
I'm already a PlayStation now. Remember, I've been
Yeah,
for like the last 2
mentioned
years.
experiences on that and talking about playing games
Yeah.
on there. So an expanded version of that I think would benefit all gamers, not just us or not just me, not just Brant, not just somebody casually listening, but that would be especially having the 3 tiers, Game Pass.
That's the only way right now at this moment you can play Puppeteer on the
True.
PS5. So
Puppeteer, PlayStation Japan Studios classic. Gotta love that game. Having 3 tiers, maybe that's the next level of that business model. Maybe they have looked at that Game Pass type service and they've said, hey, a lot of people are not playing Forza Horizon. They're not playing Halo. They're not playing Crackdown 3. They are day one for that. They don't need that. They want Ico. They want Puppeteer. They want Patapon. And so we're going to have that available with this other type tier that does not get them those immediate, new release type things. It gives a better depth of back catalog, and I think that's a great way for Sony to lean. I think that Xbox finally, after 20 years, has a great library to lean on, but there's no doubting Sony's library in the past 20 years, right? So here you have these tiers where you can offer these type things that can be broken apart for consumers, and they can decide what they want to invest in or not. What is this rumor? Spring 2022. That's according to Bloomberg. Maybe we hear about that. We're getting into the holidays, so it gets weird because we have the Game Awards Thursday night or Friday night. Is tomorrow night?
Which we should get
tomorrow.
a good bit of we should get a good bit of news out of that.
It'll be Game Awards.
I'm gonna be sleeping perfectly because I'm not watching it. I'll just watch the reveals in the morning. So
camping.
Yeah, I'll probably do the same.
I'm not sure what my reception is gonna be like. Do live stream it.
Just watch the reveals later. That's what I've got to have.
So that'll probably be the majority of our announcements next week, right? Our news.
Oh yeah.
All right, my news just went crazy. Is the next story PlayStation 4 exclusive? The one I added.
Yeah, that's
your
added story.
You want to take? Take it?
Go
for it.
Star Fox, FX Chip, Q Games, all that fame. They released a game a few years ago that was a free-to-play experimental game called The Tomorrow Children. It was like a dystopian Soviet Russia-style survival type deal. And it was around for a while, and I only really knew about it because I have followed him on Twitter for quite some time. But then it was shut down, so that was it, right? It was kind of gone. This comes from Eurogamer. The Tomorrow Children, the bizarre and experimental free-to-play PlayStation 4 exclusive, is being revived by its original creator, Q Games. The move comes after Q Games regained ownership of the rights to the Tomorrow Children from Sony, the first time the platform holder has allowed this, they note. Q Games says it will now rebuild the Tomorrow Children and bring it back to life more than 4 years after it was shut down. There's no word yet on when its relaunch will happen or what happens. Mix of collaborative building and a futuristic Soviet dystopia, the Tomorrow Children was an intriguing and unusual proposition which never really found its feet. Sony initially tested the game via public beta in June 2016, before launching it early access later that year with a paid Founders Pack. A full free-to-play release then followed in October of 2016. The game lasted little more than a year before servers went dark in November 2017. So they fought to get this back. Sony allowed them to, and now it is going to be coming out at a later date, which is a total win. I was always intrigued by this. I never really did understand the concept. I don't know if that was due to the marketing, but it always seemed intriguing, but not my kind of thing. And it seems like Q Games has identified, they were ahead of the curve on this, it seems like. And since then, more titles have leaned towards what this type of gameplay would provide, and they can republish this basically outside of the Sony umbrella and see if it gets another chance. It gets another shot to see if people will be down for something like this. So I'm kind of excited. I want to see what this looks like. You don't usually see when a live service game shuts down. That's it, right? You're gone.
Yeah.
Done. The servers are off. It's dark. It's over. And now here's a game that's not only was under that Sony basically first party umbrella, but it's getting a second lease of life under another publisher. They're getting that IP back. It would be akin to what's something else that's been under that? Tomba? Would Tomba count as that?
Oh
Am I
wow.
going too far back? I mean, you guys are there, but our listeners.
Will they put out a physical release where the game disc doesn't hardly have any data on it? Because if so, I'm in.
Speaking of relevant first party time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll know we know you'll buy it. So
Brandon,
Yeah, I'll buy it.
So you're in.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool to see this come back, and I know Dylan Cuthbert. I've never stopped following him. He always has great insight into the game industry and publishing and development and all kinds of stuff. He was there with Nintendo developing Star Fox and the FX chip, and there was a 3D game they made for Game Boy that when I look at footage of it, I'm like, how in the hell is this running on a Game Boy? And he's just a programming genius. He's a guru at that. So for them to have that back, and I know he invested a lot in it in his Q Game studio. It's very cool to see a story like this where they are able to recover an IP and continue it after its initial intended life. Because it seemed like Sony never really marketed it correctly. Because, I mean, all three of us are pretty up on games, right? Do we actually know what Tomorrow Children was or is? The three of us? Not really.
No.
So,
I mean, I never gave it a chance, so I can't really
I
speak on
downloaded
it.
it like all of us did, probably with PlayStation Plus or whatever, Founders Pack kind of thing they gave us, and it'd be great to see that get a new lease on life. All right, someone tell us about these PlayStation Now games coming.
Sure. Our December PlayStation Now ones is from the PlayStation blog from Adam Mitchell. Grand Theft Auto 3, the definitive edition. Final Fantasy X or 10 2 HD remaster. John Wick Hex, just in time for that Matrix to come out. So yeah. Spitlings, and that is our latest additions in the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on there, Brant?
No, I mean Game Pass got San Andreas definitive, and now PlayStation Now is getting GTA 3, and I think, gosh, isn't the San Andreas? It's not really staying on Game Pass that long.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows on that how Game Pass works. I mean, there are some games that stay for a year. I think Grand Theft Auto 3 is slated for until 2 months, and so their guess was that maybe it might be on there for 2 months. Nobody knows for certain.
Yeah,
but it seems like the Rockstar games don't stay that long in Game Pass, so it would be a good guess.
But this would be a good way to test it out now that there's been a few patches to get some of the hundreds and hundreds of bugs out before you actually make the dive and buy the game.
Yeah, and then we also got here some PlayStation Plus updates, but this one's mostly deals with Japan and Asia. Japan is
So this was when we reported on the PlayStation Plus rumors that did wind up being true. As far as the games we got being what was it, DC Supervillains, Lego,
Mortal Shell,
Mortal Shell, and Godfall. But this is we get what's called the Challenger Edition, which apparently is a very pared down version of the game where it puts you in leveled up toward the end of the game, and you get to play a couple missions. And if you want to play the rest of the game, you have to buy it. So, yeah. And they do mention in this article that Japan got the exact same stuff as well as they got Judgment. So they got an extra game that, arguably is definitely exact same games we do. Oh gosh, who did this?
I mean, this time.
Sitting at this beautiful table.
Sorry, I was trying to fix something else. Why am I so low? Like you just blueberry.
Richard just did something to the video feed and put us behind a table.
Nobody's seeing anything. All we're seeing is broken Skype feeds on streaming.
Skype call. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to fix my stuff.
It looks like it's some kind of party. Richard's really tiny, like he's cowering behind this table.
Brant's still broken.
Yeah,
Brant's back.
Now Brant's broken and you're back.
But yeah, we get a horrible version of a game we were all on the fence on anyway. And Japan, of course, gets something extra that we don't get.
Ooh.
So that's PlayStation for you.
There we go. Orders restored.
Yep.
Sorry.
How? Now we're watching your screen.
Let's wait for OBS to catch up. It's the worst.
What did you do? You've broken it.
I planned it over. I'll just show up on the podcast. I'll be perfectly happy.
Oh no.
That view of the cake. It's so
I'm for whatever reason I'm 240p now.
so sorry to drop down in resolution.
And you're getting tinier. You're shrinking.
Wait, what are y'all?
You're shrinking behind the desk.
What are y'all looking at?
I don't know what's happening. I don't even know where we're at.
What did you pay for? This is not what we paid for. The OBS is what we paid for.
He's little Richard. He's not.
Renee says he couldn't get into Moonlight Fantasy on episode 5. He didn't like it. That's way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go on the feed. Brent, Cesar just do 40p like he was saying.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Sorry. Oh, no, it was me trying to fix it live.
Regressive. He's regressive scan.
That's pretty good. Oh, to keep people from trying to hook up stuff to modern platforms. Do you have that running regressive scan?
We're in Minecraft. Yeah.
Oh, God, now Cesar's gone rampant. He's taking over the whole screen. Oh, geez.
I don't know what's happening.
I got you back.
Oh, that does it for news.
Games played.
That's it for news. And on to the shenanigans.
I definitely want to talk about you've been doing shenanigans.
Richard is
something I don't know about.
Oh,
We're
gosh.
in the ocean. How are we in the ocean?
I don't know. Somebody put us in a Little Mermaid.
Under the sea.
Wait, that affects my audio issue? No. Find one that does that fixes that.
No, now it sounds like you're
I've been
underwater.
underwater for 6 weeks. Is that Excite Bike? Yeah, that was good.
I don't
Now
know.
we're in
We're
class
now
or
we're on college.
Yeah.
I'm not a criminal.
Finally.
All right, Cesar scrolling for our non-video listeners. Cesar scrolling through Skype settings.
Here we go.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we are in the Halo Infinite UNSC, and I have the sweatpants to prove it. I don't know if it'll show them.
No, please sit down. Please sit down.
Sweatpants. It's not on the video. It's not showing.
Nobody wants to see your
No,
penis.
It's not my penis. It's my sweatpants. Pants. Not penis. Pants. All right, so launching today was I guess I'll start it up. Launching today was the Halo Infinite campaign. It went live at 1 o'clock. I was awaiting friend of the show, Russell, to arrive at 3-ish to start it. As we all know, the campaign is not co-op. So he and I were determined, as lifelong Halo fans, to trade the controller back and forth and play co-op that way, which does work. On that note, and I'll deep dive into this later, but I don't know how they're going to do this campaign co-op. I don't know how this works with 2 people. After playing the first 3 to 4 hours of the game, I'm not sure how you pull this off with 2 people. It just seems very Halo campaignish in a decidedly single-player viewpoint, in that the things that you do and the things that decide the way the campaign go are very exclusive to that one player. So with us swapping the controller back and forth, even just doing that, it was like, I'm looking at him like, I don't know if I would have done that necessarily. So the game unfolded in a different direction than what I would have done. And I'm not sure, I'm not a programmer, we're not game developers, I'm not sure how you do that from a co-op standpoint. So Joseph Staten and 343 Industries and Bonnie Ross, they've been out there saying the delay was the delay of Halo Infinite from last year, and for spreading out campaign and Forge and all that, was to promote parity amongst the Xbox One, Xbox One X, Series S, Series X, across all those different versions, and to make sure that they are good gameplay experiences across those. And I do buy that. That is fine. They also do not want people to crunch, because Joseph Staten was there for the Bungie Halo days of 1 through 3, and Reach, and ODST, where they were working long hours, 80-hour weeks, and staying up late, and all that nonsense that people do not need to do, in a job, in a working 40-hour week, if that's what it's going to be. And they didn't do that. They refused to do that, and I'm 100% down with that. Delay whatever you need to, and release the game whenever you need to, in whatever state it is, to avoid that. I'm okay with, right?
Definitely.
So the first 2 missions of, and I'll stay spoiler free, because this is probably the first time in a long time that I've played a game that you guys have not really dove into, and I know you both want to. And Brant's downloading it off his disc at this at this very hour. All these missions are on his disc he bought, and it's just all I have to do is install from the disc to the system, and then he's ready to go. Which famously is not the case. But the first 2 missions are not the open world Halo that you've seen in the previews and heard about and things like that. They are more linear experiences, and you're inside ships, and kind of think Pillar of Autumn, where they're teaching you to not so much jump or turn on the flashlight, as for specific listeners, or melee people, but they're teaching you the open worldness of this Halo. There's way too much ammo. Everywhere you go, there's way too much. This is not as Cesar and I always put it with certain titles, this is not the Resident Evil of Halo. Everywhere you go in this ship, you have, around a corner, and there's a rack of weapons. You've got Needler and plasma carbine and grenades. And then shoot 2 or 3 more guys around the corner, and you've got plasma pistol and the plasma sniper thing, whatever that's called. It's just, they're everywhere, and it was almost like, damn, there's so many weapons. But it's almost like they're putting in your head, grab anything, do whatever you want, play this next part however you want to. Where famously in the first Halo, in the Pillar of Autumn level, you get the automatic rifle, and then you get the pistol, and then after that, you can pick up a couple of the Covenant weapons. And that was a first for shooters, where it wasn't just, okay, I'm playing Doom, I'll find the shotgun on this next level, and then I'll have the shotgun forever. The enemies drop the weapons, and you can upgrade based off of what they have and that kind of thing. So that's an immediate first. They are good at introducing the grapple shot, which I know Cesar enjoys in multiplayer, using the grapple shot to move around the level. There's great instances using that. the very end of the first level, think Uncharted meets Warthog Run and the grapple shot, and just go with that. And it's awesome. Cesar's changing our background again. It was an awesome
Which would be Uncharted
first
4.
level. Cesar had messed with our OBS feed too somehow. Oh, we're good. It's our whole feed. We're just, you're seeing what we're seeing.
Oh no.
You're seeing what I'm seeing on the host side. So it has that scale of an Uncharted and the Warthog Run of trying to escape something, or a Metroid game trying to get out at the end type deal where the ship's gonna blow up and you hear the beeping and that sort of thing. The second level is a little bit more story focused. They still give you a wide open. There's plenty of weapons to pick up along the way. You've got different options that you can do as far as completing. Really, I guess the Halo DNA, the Halo bones, as Brant puts it, and they're sending penguins across the screen. The Halo bones, as Brant puts it, of the weapon, pick up whatever weapon you want to, and play out this way however you want to. And there were times, so friend of the show Russell was here. I waited for him to play the campaign together. It's been a thing for us for years and years to play these campaigns, and we haven't played one together since 3, I guess, as it was new. So this was a fun one to be a part of, and even though it wasn't true co-op, we're passing the controller back and forth. So if one of us died or reached a point, that was like, hey, it's been long enough, or, we're to a new place, or we're in a new room, that kind of thing, we swap out the controller. So it's that sort of co-op. Kind of how we play like Resident Evil 4 and some others that don't natively support co-op. But then after some story bits, you end up on one of the Halos, and the best way I can explain it, and I was hoping he had played Gears 5 since then, because that was one of my games of the year a couple of years ago, and Cesar and I played through this together. But Gears 5 opened up those Gears moments by having landmarks on the map. So you would travel to places in the map, and you would have these Gears moments. So it wouldn't necessarily be, no, it's not sloth-like. You would not have these point A to point B bits of Gears. You would have, A to B, but you could get sidetracked. So you may, on your way to B, you find something, and you stumble into other Gears moments that aren't quite what was intended along that linear process, right? From the Gears 1 through probably 1, 2, and 3, and even 4. Because 4 went back to basics after Judgment, and 3's 4-player kind of extraordinaire. And I can see where they took this, and it's the next level past that. So imagine being on the Halo, and it almost fills in the gaps. We've all played that first Halo campaign multiple times, right? So when you first land on the Halo, Cortana wants you to go pick up these Marines. And you have another AI that's go around. I'm not going to do any spoilers from Halo 4 or 5. It's not Cortana, but the new AI, which they refer to as the weapon, she has hilarious humor and dialogue. She is stealing the show by herself. This game is incredible. I'm going to be talking about this game at Game of the Year discussion when we all have it. But she has so much wit and humor and character, and she's stealing the show. You know how that person will come into a media property and you're just like, I wasn't expecting. I think of the girl from Black Panther, who's the sister who's developing all the hardware and the technology and stuff. Like, she stole that movie. She was like the star of that movie to me. It's like, where did she come from? I didn't expect her to be this amazing character. And the weapon, she is your pseudo Cortana and leading you places. And you've seen some bits, not the rooster, you've seen some bits in the trailers and such, and she so far exceeds that. She's such a great character. It's hard to explain because she's not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there. The pilot that they featured in all the stuff leading up to this, he's not supposed to be there, and everybody comes together great. You have the Master Chief, who's this strong, silent, heroic, we'll get it done. And then you have the pilot, who has been out in space, and if you've seen all the pre-marketing stuff, you've seen the bit with his family. He's just trying to get back to his family. He don't give a damn about this conflict. It's like, oh God, we lost. Get me out of here. Just want to get back to my family. Then you have the AI, the weapon, who contained Cortana in the last movie, the last game apparently. And she's done her job, but she was supposed to be eliminated after that. Like, she was supposed to disappear, and she didn't. So part of Master Chief's thing is that she's still around. We have to figure out why she's still around. So it's like this paper, rock, scissors of these different characters. And this is your 3 core tenets. And you land on the Halo, and like I was saying with the mission structure, you have a main mission. You can go here to this part, or you can go to these 2 other places that are marked on the map. And I say marked on the map, this is not an Assassin's Creed game where there's all of a sudden 50 things to do. There's maybe 6 in your vicinity. Go get this group of Marines, go get this group of Marines. There's this one banished leader that's near you. There's the mission objective, and then there's what they have on their Spartan crates. So you can upgrade through the campaign. You can upgrade your shields. You can upgrade your grapple hook. I don't know what the 2nd level of grapple hook does. I haven't unlocked it yet, but it apparently does better than the level 1 grapple hook. So you find these Spartan crates, almost like remember that in God of War you would find was it the red crates that would boost your ability? You could spend on your points. Yeah. So it's like those are hidden around the map, and you have to find them, and they'll just be in random places. And my brother and I spent probably, it takes a while to get to this open Halo part. So we probably only had an hour and a half or so to spend in this. And playing on normal, we died a couple times. So we would hand the controller, and we would do that same experience. It is very lenient with its respawns. So if you find an engagement, if you find like a group of Marines or a mini boss or one of those Spartan crates, and you fail in that vicinity, you start back in that same spot. So you get to do the whole, you get to do that whole thing again without having to retrace driving there or whatever it is, however it is you got there. So as we would do that, if we would fail, when we ended up playing it again, we did it a totally different way. It wasn't the same. And the same can be said for the first Halo. You can run that Pillar of Autumn mission and do totally different stuff every time. There's a cadence to Halo with shooting and throwing grenades and recharging your shields and ducking behind cover. And it's expounded upon in this. Maybe you have a sniper rifle, and all of a sudden that boss that's down at the bottom of this area, instead of him being this crazy bullet sponge, you take him out with 2 sniper shots, and that's it. The objective's over. You just have to work your way down there, and there may be more enemies that come flooding in, but you've outsmarted that objective. You've done it the way you wanted to do it. And another new element, those are the major touchstones. Another new element in this Halo is that you can pick up, like, y'all have seen them in the multiplayer, the seeds, the power seeds. So those power up certain things, certain Promethean weapons, and then you have like fuel canisters and things like that. So it's almost like having an extra grenade, because you could pick up these things and just chuck them, and shit will blow up based off of where you throw these items. And we don't know why the Halo broke apart. You've seen from the marketing that this Halo, this ring, the Banished is trying to fire it. But everything we've known from previous Halo games, you have to have a whole Halo to fire, and there's a whole chunk missing out of it. And what I had blamed on poor programming or game development or whatever, like those real blocky looking sections of the Halo that you would see in the even like last year's marketing and videos and stuff, that's the Halo is trying to rebuild itself, we think. So that's built into the story, like it's trying to, you see these like hexagonal shapes building up, and the Halo is trying to almost refurbish itself or something. I may be totally wrong on that, but that's kind of the way we're leaning on that. Again, with these engagements, like with the camps, they're trying to free the Marines and stuff. I don't know how they pull this off co-op. It plays so beautifully and so seamless single player. I cannot see the added element and AI and all the things they have to do to add that co-op experience in there. I cannot wait for that. I know they're going to add that. They've promised to do that. I don't see how they do. It's one of a kind. It's got a certain feel to it. It's almost like, imagine we all played Breath of the Wild. Imagine Breath of the Wild co-op. You know, you would see a group of moblins at the base of a hill, and you had your bomb thing, and you could time your bomb to pull it up and like roll it down the hill and try to take them out. What do you do with two people? Do you have another Link go down the hill and shoot bow and arrow, or do you have him jump off the cliff and use a hang glider and go down to the other side of the camp? Like, how do you make that an experience? And maybe they have these footprints, maybe they have these things built in there, but I'm unsure how that's going to work because it works so well single player. And it's there were some times where after we got on that Zeta Halo where I teared up. I was thinking about he and I playing the original Halo and the instances where, you know, faux hammer, you land on that first Halo, you're trying to figure out what's happening, you don't know what's a weapon, all this kind of, you don't have this whole lore of Halo 2 and 3 and all those behind it. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. And the first thing you have to do is go find more Marines. There's more Marines that got off the Pillar of Autumn. Go find them. And you get in this Warthog, and the whole illusion of that first Halo game is that it's this massive world. You land on this ring world, and it's huge. And on the original Xbox, you had these, you know, it would still load when you went through these different zones, but it was such a huge, the scale of that area felt so massive, and it was unlike anything that we could play on anything else. And it really wasn't. It was so linear. You were going from one place to the next. You were going where they guided you. But it looked like, you know, you had the scale of these mountains and these Marines are just over these foothills, but they're not really. They're just, you drive the Warthog straight down and then you go left and then they're right there basically. But the way the story built it and the atmosphere built it was that it was this grand scale that you were on this thing. And instead of filling in the gaps with those other atmospheric bits and story bits, it feels like you're playing it this time. Those Marines are there. Remember the Skyrim thing of like, there's a mountain you can go up it, or Breath of the Wild, like you can paraglide to that thing and you can go to it. You can grapple hook to that shit. Are those Marines there? Yes. Do you want to take the Warthog and go around the mountain and climb your way up there? Sure. Do you want to jump from place to place and work your way up that siding? Sure. Do you want to grapple hook straight there and get there in like 5 fucking seconds? Yes, you can. And it's the engagements and who you find along the way and how you free them and what weapons you have, and it's Halo. It's nothing different than what we were playing 20 years ago, but has expounded so much more on that experience. It's like Brant said, those Halo bones. It feels like 1 and 3 combined with everything that our industry that we know and love has learned in the last, say, 10 years, without the bad stuff, without the fluff, and just the extra garbage, and it's awesome. It's so good, and I teared up a couple times as we were doing these engagements and just realizing, like, when the map opens up, and it's not this, like I said, with, you know, compared to like an Assassin's Creed where it's just not this wide open thing like go here, go here, go here, go here. You have certain options that they have clearly defined to you what they can do or not do, and you can go do them as you see fit. And to have that in a Halo game, it's a combination of like where they were going with Gears and a Breath of the Wild almost, because you can approach things any way you want to. It's good, man. They did it. I was worried about how it would go. The last campaign I played through was with Cesar. We played Halo 4. It was like, yeah, this is good, but is it great? Not really. And then we've only heard so things about Halo 5, and I watched a synopsis on Halo 5 before playing this, and we didn't miss anything story-wise. It's a bunch of garbage. And they don't really seem to lean into it for this one. So if you want to watch a quick synopsis, I don't feel like a 15-minute video is going to replace an 8-hour playthrough. So we'll still get those good Halo moments in that playthrough and not miss out on these crazy... The story is just not... It doesn't really go anywhere in 5. I see what the complaints were after watching that synopsis. It's like, okay, sure, that's what happened. That's fine. It's almost like a filler episode. This is what they were doing behind the scenes the whole time. And now I'm on that Halo, and honestly, the hardest thing to think about is I really want to play this co-op. Gaming to me is gaming with friends, and it's where I'm at now. It's like I don't want to experience this alone. I want to have everybody over. You two guys, if you were here, I would just want to play with y'all and just swap the controller out. Like, if we can't play this co-op, let's just experience this together and see this crazy shit as it happens. And Brant, why would you pick the sniper rifle? Clearly, you could go down to the bottom and take a shotgun and clear them out. And then Cesar's like, sure, but I would have a needler, and I would be trying to take people out with the needler. It's just so many approaches.
I would never use a needler. That's not realistic.
Played with the needler on Infinite, right? You know that it is God tier.
That's pretty damn good.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not.
I don't know what Cesar changes to.
Absolutely not. No.
As well. Please stop messing with that. It's screwing everything up. I don't know what does it, but it messes it up. Sorry, you need the needler on Infinite campaign. It's God tier.
No.
You get what you wrote. You didn't mention the needler. I wouldn't have changed OBS. Yep.
Other than that, we have continued to play with the Oculus Quest 2. Friend of the show, Jeremy, had bought Beat Saber because that's what you see in all the marketing for Oculus Quest 2 is like a Billie Eilish pack. And when we looked at it, we couldn't really figure out what this song pack was. Like, what do you actually get with this? It's not the Billie Eilish pack. That's an upsale. So you've got $30, then you got to spend $15 or $20 for all these different song packs. And he actually found a free-to-play type Beat Saber thing called Moonrider. And it's just on the Firefox browser on the Quest 2. And you can search for songs. I played the Skyrim theme, the Dragonborn theme. I played the Super Mario Brothers theme. I played some Final Fantasy VII music. I played Last Dance with Mary Jane from Tom Petty. Let me fix it again. There's all sorts of free songs on that Moonrider, and it's just free on the Firefox. The VR Firefox is called Firefox Reality. So it's just free on there. And he saved me from spending $30 on Beat Saber, so I don't think I'll ever buy Beat Saber. Mrs. digs it too. Also tried out Mission ISS on Quest 2, and that involves you going to the International Space Station and doing various missions around the space station there. You grab, so it has you grabbing with the controllers. The controllers are probably the greatest addition to Quest 2 versus my experience is PlayStation VR with the Move controllers. And again, building on that, I cannot wait to see what they have learned with PlayStation VR 2, where we have controllers that are way more capable than the PS3 Move controllers, even though they got the job done, But just to have something more, technologically powerful and tracking instead of using that camera to track with the PlayStation 3 Move controllers. But you use those controllers to move about the International Space Station. So you'll grab different, grips and stuff and hoist yourself through the space station. And the second mission they have you doing, you go outside of it and you do a moonwalk. So you have these thrusters that are built into the direction pad on the controller. So you can move these thrusters, and you're supposed to be looking at something on the International Space Station, but it's in VR. So you're holding onto the edge of the space station, and you're looking around at you got Earth behind you. That's it. So what I decided to do was just push off the International Space Station and try to push myself away from it as far as I could. And there was an achievement for a spacewalk, breaking away from it. And then they kindly reminded me, please go back towards the space station. Your oxygen is running low. So that mission sends you back towards the ISS.
as you should.
Yeah, right. Head back to humanity. Oxygen's getting low. So Mission ISS, Moonrider. I played a game today called In Space that reminds me of the. Did you guys download the Call of Duty experience that had you in space? It was like it was probably the best. It was one of the best PlayStation VR games.
I remember that one.
Call of Duty Jackal, was that the right name for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody who I demoed PlayStation VR with, I had them play this, and they were like, "Oh God, why is this not a full game?" And In Space is not quite that level. I think it actually came out before that demo did. Some of this Oculus stuff is a little old. It's just been ported to that Quest 2, but it's still a very, very confident space shooter type thing. You know, it's not quite to like it's not Rogue Squadron. What did they call that new one? Star Wars Squadrons. Kind of
Yes.
in between there. So a little bit more depth in the Call of Duty demo, but not quite to Star Wars Squadrons, which I wish was on. I would triple dip on that one. That's a good ass experience. And is that about it with the Quest 2? Love that, man. Love being able to have a VR unit that I can just strap on there and have the controller and not have to hook up the TV or anything. It's super easy to cast from those to iPad or iPhone or Android device. You can do that same TV sharing experience that you're used to on PSVR. It's just not required. So you can send that to it as you need to. The kids love seeing when the missus plays Moonriders and she plays a song. They like seeing what she's doing in there because they've got younger eyes, so we kind of steer them away from. They want to know what the VR is, but we're steering them away from putting their actual eyeballs in it, you know. So they actually get to see what is happening with the music-based games and stuff. Is that it with that? Yeah, that is my gaming for the week. What you guys got?
For me, all I did was I beat Deathloop, I think Sunday. And it ended up taking me, I think it was 16 hours total. I finally got to the point where the story kind of starts out jumbled all over the place, depending on what visionaries you killed, depending on which time and which areas you have at. So person can experience it differently. Almost every visionary has some kind of gear with them that allows you to kind of bend the rules in the game. You have to get into the habit of beating them multiple times because you get upgrades for the slabs. They call them slabs. There's some that make you invisible. There's some that you can throw around people like they're made of nothing. There's some that doubles your defense and your attack. They all vary depending on what you have on there. So as you go deeper into the game and you fight your antagonist, which is I think Juliana, and it kind of pushes you to look for some of the story bits that are hanging around as you go through. Because like after you figure out one way to kill a visionary, you get more information from their computers or their mini comms, and you'll find out about different ways to kill other visionaries until you get what they call the perfect day, which you're able to kill all 7 and then go face the final boss. There's a device you need to use to get to the final boss that requires you to kill all 7 of the visionaries before you can get to it. So you have to get that path nailed down and kill them all in one day. As you go through, you kind of figure out that not everything's what it seems. And you get not a real sense of how long that day's been repeating on that island. So there's a lot of, I won't go into details, but not everything is what it looks like it is. A lot of the visionaries, a lot of the visionaries are not really good people, and you get the indication that they're being kept there like it's a prison. So like it works out well for society. Outside of the gameplay wise, I mean, as you get more of the slabs, you kind of have more different abilities. Like you can shift and go across different parts of the map, and then you'll get an upgrade where you can swap positions with the enemy, and they'll swap you over. So you can throw them across the map somewhere else and swap places with them. So there's a lot of aspects of the gameplay that gets a lot of fun as you go through and get upgrades. I won't go more into the story because the story, there's a nice twist at the end of it. I thought it was late in the game, but then I thought about it, it's like if they did it early enough, then it probably they would have ruined it. So I think they did it just right. That's why I kind of like Arcane Studios. They have a good way of doing storytelling. But outside of that, I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It grew on me a lot. It took me a while because of the amount of freedom I had in the beginning. But as after I started getting a path to go through and how to get to the end game, it got more interesting. Especially as you find out more about Colt's background and everything. Like what his motivation is to get off the island, all that kind of stuff makes sense. And there's a lot of stuff you have to read between the lines in there with some of the lore they have lying around, and it's not difficult. It doesn't have to go all your way. Everything seems to correlate to missions that you have to go there and grab stuff. So it's not like you have to go to some random place at a random time to get some story bit. So everything is attainable within the gameplay measures. There's 3 endings. I got all 3 of them. You get a choice at the very end of the game. There's 3 different ways you can play it out, and each one does a different ending. The only bad thing about it is like after you get one, you have to go through the whole perfect day again to get the second one. You got to go through the whole perfect day to get the third one again. So that's the only downside of that.
Path at that point, right? So it's pretty easy to go through.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it walks you through. There's a roadmap once you figure everything out that it kind of tells you, all right, you got to do this at this time. You got to do this at this time.
That's cool.
It's not enough that gets you lost once you figure out the way.
Time travel stuff like
that. Outside of that is 100%. I'll kick it over to Brant and let him finish.
Deathloop.
I really haven't gotten a chance to play much anything.
Watch more anime, right, Brant?
You
watch that Mushoku Tensei? Mushoku Tensei, you watch that episode?
No, I got family caught up on what is it? The What If series on Marvel. And then had them watch all of Loki, and then started them on Hawkeye, and then based on rumors throughout what's going to be introduced very soon, started watching Marvel's Daredevil. That's on Netflix because that's a great series. So, but my son's never seen it. And it's
Daredevil's really, really good. So
it's really, really good.
The show or the Ben Affleck thing?
No, not the Ben Affleck thing. The show
was quite good.
Oh, it's very, very
good. Yeah. It's probably the best out of all of the Netflix adaptations that they did. But did play some Halo multiplayer. Like you've been saying, I've been trying to download the non-existent software off the disc for the multiplayer. As soon as I got home, that disc went into the Series X, and by 8 o'clock, it still wasn't. It was almost done.
Brent,
almost done.
Have you learned your lesson?
Probably only buy a physical for PS5
until Microsoft proves you otherwise. I'm sure hopefully there's a lot of feedback on this, and they'll change their ways. But
figure out why they even put this disc out physically, right?
I don't know.
So I have a theory.
I don't know. I mean, either way, the console is always online. You have to have internet access, so I don't think it really matters at this point. So you can't
we assume with the campaign it's going to be on the disc, right? We're not no co-op campaign, so I don't need you. I don't need Brand. I'm just going to pop it in and play it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is not the case. It is not on there. So my guess was, because I actually popped it at Best Buy today, and I was looking at, they got a whole end cap. It says Halo Infinite. It's got all these discs and everything. My only guess is that, so you can get, out of the 3 of us, did anybody buy their system from a retailer? Were you able to get it from like a brick and mortar retail store? You did. Yeah, that's right. You walked in.
Me. I'm that old school.
I got it from Amazon.
No, actually. I went in there for a game and they didn't have it. They had the Series X and I wound up getting it.
So my theory here is you're going to get that disc because you were going to get it anyways. Then you also get something else because you're in there. So it's still a retail, Cesar and I have multiple years of retail experience. It's still this retail presence of the upsell. Like, before it was, and Russell and I were talking about this when we were playing, when I bought Halo 2, I was 4 days past my 18th birthday. So when we were selling this game, it wasn't just a game. We were trying to sell Xbox Live, and we were trying to sell the CD soundtrack. We were trying to sell the guide. There were all these upsell things, right? So my thought is that you're going in to get that disc, I guess, to wrap, to put under the tree, but you're also after, I don't know, maybe I need a new headset. Maybe I want to grab one of those 20th anniversary controllers. The Robot Light controller, I think, was on sale. Let me check that out while I'm here. That sort of thing.
I need a pet hamster, a pet fish. Yeah, let's get that while I'm here too.
Robot fish at Best Buy. I need a dryer. Let me go get that dryer while I'm here.
Oh, while I'm here, let's get that puppy. Let's get that puppy we were talking about. While we're here.
Honestly, that's all I could think of, was that it was some allegiance to retail partners to try to get a present in store that someone would want to pre-order. Back to the Steelbook there. That's an incentive to get, you got a physical item. Like, I don't have a Steelbook, so you have something on that game that I do not own with my copy of Halo Infinite that I may have gotten through Microsoft's preferred way to play that game. But that's all I could think of, honestly, because there's nothing on that disc. Nobody can grab that disc and play anything off of it. And 10 years from now, if we want to have a Halo LAN party of Infinite, no one can use that disc and pop it in their system and do something off of. So
yeah,
that's all I could think of, was that it was like a retail upsell type deal.
And the only other thing that I played, I had a Wild Hair, pulled it off the shelf. I think it's all the Spider-Man hype that's going on. Is Spider-Man 2, the video game
on Xbox
for PS2. This is the Activision Treyarch game, open world sandbox, which this is still, even as a product of the era as it is, with the kind of smeared Vaseline look a little bit sometimes PS games or PS2 games get every now and then.
I'm nostalgic for that.
And the somewhat jank of trying to accurately web swing, this game was so ahead of its time. Like, when I played this, I just got, PS4 vibes. I'm like, they must have looked at this game, played this game, and used this as kind of like, okay, this is the open world Spider-Man.
Slinging is good on this, and they have modeled it after that.
And everything about this, the combat was actually halfway decent, and you had that upgrade system. And just from the moment you boot it up and you get, oh gosh, I can't remember that actor's name. But they have the voice acting of Tobey Maguire, but there's a dude that does the narration in this game. He did it in the first game as well, and he's just kind of Bruce Campbell. I think I'll have to look it up. But he does the tutorials, and he's that kind of snarky, backhanded, sarcastic, leading you through certain things, and it's everything works so well. And the fact that they also meshed different parts of the Spider-Man universe into this game, so you've got the whole story arc with Spider-Man 2 and the Doc Ock thing going on, but also in the background you wind up running into Black Cat, and you wind up running into Rhino, and then Mysterio comes in, and oh yeah, it's a good game. And I mean, I played it for, I don't know, a few hours, and I really wanted to go back through and play the whole thing again. And even sitting there with my son, of course, the I guess the most iconic thing that most people remember this game for, besides it just being a good Spider-Man game, is the pizza mini game, where you have to deliver pizzas You have to deliver pizzas within a certain amount of time, and you have that like da 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 just like blaring the entire time you're delivering pizzas. Hold on, I've got it. I've got it. No, that's not it.
Pause for technical.
There we go.
That plays the whole time.
And it's like an accordion. Yes, it's a freaking accordion. And the thing is as your time gets lower, like it gets more frantic. It's like yeah. It just gets faster and faster and faster. So it's
that's awesome.
But I mean, you get to go wherever you want to in the city, you know, where the first game was very mission based, you know, put you in a tiny little area, you do your mission, and then you get kicked out, and then they give you a cutscene, and then boom, next little mission, and you're in a new little area, and you run around, do your thing, and then out, you know. Where this, you could go anywhere you wanted to.
GTA, like a GTA 3 Vice City situation.
Pretty much. Yeah. And they would have, I mean, of course, it'd be only like one of, I don't know, 4 or 5 things, but they would have random crime around the city. So you would have, you know, somebody all of a sudden would get road rage and you'd have to go stop them, or somebody would jack a car, or somebody's having a drug deal, or somebody's robbing a store, or something like a kid, a freaking little girl or little boy let their balloon go, and now you've got to chase their balloon and not let it get away and bring it back to them, and it's it's actually a pretty good game. So if you have not checked out the old Spider-Man 2, the obviously the one based on the movie franchise,
Electric Boogaloo,
is
Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, there we go.
Back when Treyarch and Activision put out very, very good products constantly. Now it's like hit or miss.
Is there a zombies mode in this Spider-Man?
There's zombies.
Can you ride the subway to other zombie lair areas? Mm-hmm. Get on the train.
This is where it all started. Spider-Man.
Ride to your death.
Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for me. I haven't really
across PS2, GameCube, Xbox. I think the PSP one's slightly different.
I believe so.
Did a pretty good early showcase for PSP, especially compared to DS. It's one of those ones that people lined up like, look what this thing can do. The accordion. I want to play it just for that.
Oh, it's good, and you get that's one of the first little things that you'll do, and then you can go back later to the pizza shop and just, you know, it's kind of like a challenge. So it's a really great game.
All right, fellas, y'all got anything else to add?
Don't buy Halo physical.
We knew.
Obviously.
Brant, how did you not know? I didn't think I had to send it to you. My friend of the show, Russell, had it pre-ordered, and I had to tell him. Digital Foundry popped that thing in. There's nothing on the disc. It's like 7.5 gig. Nothing.
I saw that Steelbook. I was like, you know, I want the game. I want to support 343. I love what they're doing with the multiplayer. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm a big.
Yeah.
No, but I love. I'm physical. I have all this physical media.
And a Halo Infinite Coaster.
No. I mean, we're all physical. I mean, but I'm not paying full price for something.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Well, I've learned my lesson.
Has some sort of playable build on it.
I mean, I'm hoping there's enough complaints that they will actually do something like that. So.
And outside of,
let's all go to Amazon review bomb.
So the three of us can bitch and moan and whine and whatever. I know the three of us have decent internet, so like me and Cesar are now on Game Pass. Brent, you're actually not out on your coaster, but someone in a rural part of even our state might be boned by buying this physical copy of Halo Infinite and thinking they're going to get something out of it. That's
they get all excited to play the new Halo that everybody's talking about. Go home, pop it in, and then have to wait 5 years for their HughesNet, if they even have HughesNet.
That's it.
Up on their 3G Verizon hotspot.
That's it. Because we're whining and crying and first world problems, but there are people who would not have access to this game without, if they don't have great internet, then they literally do have a coaster, or no internet, then they 100% have a coaster, because it is not playable off that disc. All right, there's our soapbox for physical media and vice versa. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.